I'm Misael Franco.
And I'm Kendra Gonzalez.
Welcome to Spilling the Tea.
Are you ready to spill it with us?
I'm Misael Franco and I'm gay and I'm 25 years old.
And I'm Kendra Gonzalez and I am a lesbian who is 25 years old.
Why are we saying this? Because today we're going to talk about racism in the LGBT community, and then we're going to take some LGBT related questions from one of our friends. So let's get started. Have you ever experienced racism?
I have not experienced racism within the LGBT community.
Well,
so this is actually pretty new to me. Because I'm like, what?
Yeah. So let's start off by talking about the black and brown stripes they added to the Philly's pride flag, which caused controversy within the community, with people being for it and a lot of people being against it, and most of the people against it were white people, which is pretty interesting. A lot of black, brown, Latino people were okay with it. Even some of them embraced it. So, have you ever noticed on apps, you've never seen like people say, oh, no blacks, no brown, no Latino, no Asians? And on Grindr especially, a lot of people put no blacks, no browns, no Latinos, no Asians. And I'm like, they say it's my preference, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't have to like be putting that that's your preference.
Yeah, that's a little unnecessary.
Yeah, because you could just put you're not my type like in a message, but bluntly putting no Latinos, it's like what?
Yeah, that's sending some vibes, racist vibes.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah.
I've noticed in dance clubs and gay clubs, there's always groups like of different races, like separated. In my opinion, that's because I feel like the Latinos don't feel included with other races because they don't feel like they are acknowledged, so they hang out with people like that.
And yeah, that's really sad because the LGBT community, we are all struggling together as a community, as a whole, to be accepted together. So it's kind of sad to see and to know that there is racism and divisions within the LGBT community, because right now we really need to be more united than separated.
Yeah, and I found it very interesting that white people get very defensive when you mention this topic. It's like, if there's not racism, why are you getting defensive about it?
Yeah, does make sense. It's like kind of how they say, you laugh at a joke because some of it is true.
Yeah.
And it's, the same thing with this, like, why are you getting defensive about it if it doesn't apply to you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, we have enough racism from, like, the normal community, like, in general. Like,
the heterosexuals.
Yeah. No offense.
We love you all.
Yeah. But, yeah, I find it like, this is the tea right now. If you ever experienced racism or any kind of story like that, leave it in the comment below so we could talk about it in a future segment.
Tell us your story if you want to. That'd be nice, and we can talk more about it and get more into depth and help those who are struggling with racism within the LGBT community. So just keep your comments below and keep in tune for our next segment where we have questions coming in from.
So now, let's go to questions from one of her friends that she wants us to include in this first video. So let's see what we have first. How do you know you're gay or lesbian?
I think for me, it was just like always known since I was a little girl.
Yeah,
it's just
it's mostly, it's not like but something's, when you're little, something's different because you don't, as a kid, you don't really know the terms gay, lesbian, bi, straight. You just know that you like something different from the other kids.
Yeah, because you see something not, I guess, normal, where you always see your mom and your dad and then your auntie and your uncle. And for those of us who don't grow up in a household with someone in the LGBT community, you know something's off about you because you're like, wait a minute, why am I not liking the same sex as my parents or the family that I see?
That's very true. How do you handle ignorance in a nice way? You don't handle ignorance in a nice way, I'm telling you.
You slap him in the face.
You spill the tea in front of them and tell them, bitch, this is how it is.
And this is how it's going to be, so deal with it. No, I'm just kidding, don't do that.
Well, you just say respectfully, like in a respectful tone, but not be intimidated by being afraid to speak out.
Someone's hungry.
Excuse me. What is the dumbest thing someone has asked you regarding your sexuality or relationship? Oh. Just a couple of weeks ago or last week, wasn't it? That one of our friends asked us a really I need to take a sip of this. Well, one of our friends asked us, what was the question again? It was so ignorant that, oh yeah.
What did he say? Something to the effect like...
Yeah, he asked us, are you born gay or do you choose to be gay?
Yeah, or do you choose to be gay?
That question is one of the dumbest questions I've been asked.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, if we chose to be gay, why are we committing suicide for, for the awfulness that's being transmitted to us? Like, why would we bring that, that pain into?
If we chose to be gay, we would be able to change our sexuality and be normal. Yeah. So, another dumb question is like, who's the girl and who's the guy in the relationship? It's like, if it's a lesbian couple, both of them are the girls. And if they're a gay couple, they're both the guys. So there's no...
Yeah, and it's very difficult because then with me and my wife, we're both very feminine. Uh-huh. So people are just there studying us and trying to see who's masculine than the other. And I'm just like, no, don't, no.
Yeah. I'm like, no.
Doesn't work that way, sorry.
Why is there no LGBT sex ed questions or resources with sex ed? Okay.
This is a good question. I would like to know.
The answer is heteronormativity. Yeah, because the government or school officials are gonna try to keep everything normal. So of course they're not gonna be teaching LGBT sex ed or anything like that.
That's something interesting that we should also maybe see if there are other communities that outside that are offering sex ed or maybe some type of information for the LGBT community. Because I'm pretty sure there has to be some kind of resources out there, whether they're known or not. That's a whole different question. That's true. If you guys know about a good resource or a good community that offers those types of things, you should go ahead and comment that down to let the LGBT community know about them too. And we'll do some researches and then let you guys know what we find out about that.
That's true. Let's see what else we have here. It says, find your people, LGBT community. I'm not sure what that means.
I think it means more like, how do we find more people within the LGBT community. Because, like, for example, with me, I grew up in a very Latin Catholic household. So to find people in the LGBT community was quite difficult because I wasn't exposed to that and I didn't even know where to find people like me to have more of like that support group or, friends.
That kind of relates back to the first segment of this conversation about racism within the LGBT community. Because Latino people, if they don't feel comfortable, they won't go out to those places. Mm-hmm. So finding someone like you in the community, if they're not comfortable, it's gonna be hard. That's why some places like Sidewinders in Albuquerque, that's a gay bar, does Latino nights, and then all the Latinos show up there. So you're like, oh, there actually is gay Latino people.
And how about for those of us who aren't into the nightlife, where would you recommend to go?
That's a hard one.
It is hard.
That's hard.
Because not everybody's into the nightlife. So.
Especially here in Santa Fe and New Mexico, there's like no gay neighborhood. So there's like no gay cafes, gauges, no anything like that.
I know in Denver, Cheeseman Park is an LGBT community type of park. So if that's probably the place to go, and I know that's one of the places I like to go. And it's a really nice park, and it's honestly where all the LGBT community goes. So. All you Denver people.
Now that we're back at that, I just saw that representation on TV for the gay community and especially the Latino gay community or any other people of color in the LGBT community. It's because, for example, if you watch a TV show, there's rarely a gay character, but there's a gay character, but they're usually white. For example, Torchwood, the main character is two of the main characters are LGBT, but they're both white. Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, the lesbians characters were white.
There's one exception. Glee, the two cheerleaders. One of them was Latina, but the other one was white.
The lesbian was white, and the two gay guys were white.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So one out of 4.
I try to find more guys.
Yeah, that's true. Like for example, RuPaul's Drag Race as well. Yeah. Bianca Del Rio is one of the few Latino drag queens, and so she's representation. And the other one is Valentina. Which caused a lot of controversy with that lip sync. I'd like to keep it on, please. Yeah, but a lot of, especially white people, criticize her for saying that she meant something similar to what Selena meant to Mexican American and Mexicans, and when she was still alive. And I'm like, why do you criticize her? We're the Latinos. We feel that way. So why are you saying that she's lying? I mean,
don't tell us what we think.
Yeah, because she for us and the LGBT community, us Latinos, found her as representation for us because she's Mexican. Yeah, and people tend to not want to understand that.
Yeah.
See, tea is already spilling. It's already spilling. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's good enough for this first introductory episode. Yeah. If you have questions for us that you want us to answer, either LGBT community or anything else, such as
relationship advice or
race questions, theater questions, any kind of questions. If we find enough related, we'll make a segment out of those questions. For example, if you want to ask questions about food, like what should we eat for this and that, we can make like an episode about what to eat or like what to wear for a first date and stuff like that.
Just anything, advice, second opinions on something, need clarification, whatever. I mean, we're not professionals, but we do give good advice, not to toot our horns or anything.
And if you have comments about spilling the tea, you could write them down below. Don't be afraid. Share this video with everybody you know. Yeah. This is not the last time we're going to talk about racism in the LGBT community. If you have comments, stories, or anything, to comment below. If you want to appear in the segment throughout webcam or anything, just let us know. If you have any experiences that you want to share, we're here to help you spill the tea.